simply sitting, doing absolutely nothing when we face the threats. Many of you would say $400 billion is a lot of money. Well, think about how much is being poured into your defense budgets. And which wars are you fighting? Is there another war greater than this war on climate change? I don't think so. But let me equally give you the fallacy related to how big this amount is. The European, today, we're proud to announce that there will be $2.3 billion or $2.5 billion available from now until 2012. Well, the sad news is $300 billion was the amount of money that bankers in London City pocketed this year. So ask yourself, are your executive branches climate skeptics? Notwithstanding their utterances like Prime Minister of the UK that the cost of inaction on climate change is irreparable. His actions say he is worse than the worst of climate skeptics. If he allows bankers to pocket $300 billion because of incentivizing profit-seeking activities, and he says 500 million is the maximum that the United Kingdom government can afford to pay to support climate change. What are we saying? What are you saying? I wonder what the distinguished colleagues from Cannes are saying about that. Moreover, we do believe that what is important here in this particular conference is decision making. There's another fallacy being spread that we need a new legal instrument. Well, a decision is a legal instrument. A court decision is binding. An executive decision is binding. A legal instrument means that you as civil society are choosing that there shall be no actions for another 15 to 20 years. Think about the journey from the Stockholm Conference to the UNFCCC. How many years did it take the environmentalists to convince many decision makers that the right action on environment is actually to pursue, or is the pursuit of a greener, low carbon emissions? Many of you equally, and I would say this, and I would have never thought that one day I will accuse a civil society of such thing. Dividing the G77 or helping divide G77 is simply something that should be left to the CIA's the KGBs, and the rest.
That's true.
It's mind-boggling and I say this having been the beneficiary of absolute support from civil society. Many of you may not know this. I come from southern Sudan. We've been through wars for almost 90% of our lives since independence. So I'm not sure what happened exactly to the civil society that I know, or at least knew. Now, I want to go back to other issues because it's critical that we be very clear to each other. United States and United States people, United States civil society have a very important role to play. One reason is because the United States is P1. Another reason is because the United States is the greatest emitter, historically and by per capita. And it is important because it wields huge power, both of influence and of signaling direction. And that basically what led us to conclude and call upon President Obama to join the Kyoto Protocol. We understand the difficulties he is in. A deep sense of conservative isolationism. It's an American phenomenon that you all know. The United States was reluctant to do anything during the catastrophe of the Second World War until Churchill managed to persuade them to join in. But when they joined, peace prevailed and came into existence in Europe. They have this notion of exceptionalism. And that I think this day is to think of ourselves as one human family. I thought that what the United States signaled when they voted President Obama into office. So notwithstanding the difficulties in the United States, I think any simple analysis makes one conclude that the problem is not with the Congress. The problem is with the conservative laggard of an industrial complex. So you have to play an important role to persuade your congressmen to move forward.